Traders, this is like so important, and I do want to talk about it, especially as we head into 2024. A lot of people don't believe me when I state this, but options are built for you to lose. Options are built to be able to take that money away from you. You need to think about when you are trading an option, you are going to have potential to be able to make it big. You are going to have potential to be able to make a lot of money, but you have much more potential to end up losing it all. It's almost like going to a casino where it seems like the house always has the advantage. It's the same exact thing when you're trading an option if you do not know how to do it right. Where if you do not know how to do it right, you are going to be having the odds against you right away. So this is a paper trading account right here. Let's go ahead and let's do what most traders end up doing, and let's see how that would work out in the next 30 minutes or so. So what I'm going to do right here is I'm going to bring up a option level 2. This is a fake trading account, so I can do multiple orders and you guys can see the results. Now, what I think is also extremely important is I think everyone should be able to do this on paper trading so you can see the results on your end and be able to practice and figure out what works. So what most people end up doing is they say to themselves, all right, hey, I want to make as much money as possible. So let's say I want to trade the SPY, I want to trade Tesla, I want to trade NVDA, whatever it may be. We'll just do the SPY right now. We could do some other plays as well, but let's do the SPY and let's do the same day expiration, December 27th. Let's go slightly out of the money, just like $1 out of the money here, or right next to out of the money. That's going to be right at 476. We're going to do call contracts. We'll do 15 call contracts. Go ahead, market order in on this. We can go ahead, click buy, and that's going to cost us $4,260. So this is not anything crazy. This is not anything ridiculous. This is going to be right around $5,000. Okay, $4,260 if you had this in your account, which again, a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people definitely can afford. So let's go ahead, let's click that right there and allow that to adjust and of course, see where we're at. S&P 500, 476 on the call side, 15 contracts, and as the day goes by, let's see how much this is going to be able to produce for us. Now let's also reverse this. Let's go over to 475, same day expiration. Let's go over to 15 contracts, switch on over towards a market order, click buy, and we can actually add a little bit more. So let's, kind of match up the same. Let's go with around 4,600. So we can go with 4,400, very equal. Now let's do the put side and let's go ahead and click puts. Now, what I am expecting to see is that throughout time, as time goes by, we are actually going to see both of these be losers. Now, that's what you need to understand. When we are trading options and when we are getting involved in on these plays, one thing that hurts us the most is going to be what? Is going to be time decay. Time decay is if we have the same day expiration of, let's say, the same day expiration of December 27th, we know that at December 27th at 4 o'clock today, these become worthless. Done. Not worth anything whatsoever. At 4 p.m. today, East Coast time, 1 o'clock West Coast time, and right now it's obviously 9:30, so these contracts still have a lot of value towards them. But as the day goes on, these contracts are going to become more and more and more worthless until poof, they're not worth anything and they're worth $0. So a huge mistake is that traders make is that if you are going to do same day expirations, you probably should never hold these contracts any longer than maybe 15, 20, 25 minutes. Because it doesn't matter if you have a call contract and you're hoping that the SPY goes up. After you break through that 20, 25 minute threshold, you are going to realize that these contracts are going to decrease in value extremely quickly. And it doesn't matter if you want the S&P 500 to go down. Your contracts are still going to devalue extremely quickly. So if you are doing same day expiration right here, traders, you must realize that you are going to lose appreciation on these contracts as the day goes on. So what's a big issue with trading options here? A big issue with trading options is, number one, you need to be able to find the right trade. You have to find the right stock. You have to find the right ETF. What's another option here? Number two is not only do I need to find the right play, not only do I need to find the right ETF, the right stock, but I need to know the exact time on when to enter. So not only do I need to know the right play, but I need to know the exact time that we're going to have movement. Because if we don't have movement, we are going to end up putting ourselves in a very bad position. And that's when we're going to end up probably losing the most amount of money. Now, not only do I need to find the right ETF, the right stock, not only do I need to know the right time that we're going to have volume and movement so we don't get caught up in time decay, but now I need to realize, is it going to go up or is it going to go down? So there's a whole bunch of factors, and I need to basically be 3 for 3 correct. Hot play at the right time. Is it going to go up and down? Not only that, but if I am correct on, again, hot play, up and down, right ETF at the right time, I need to be willing to lock in profits, because if I don't lock in profits, guess what's going to happen? We're going to see things depreciate quickly. So now we basically have 4 things that we need to get correct. Time, up and down, direction, right stock, right ETF, and also be willing to lock in profits when we have them. So the thing is, traders, that's why trading options is so difficult. Now, what can we realize? Well, Deck, we can be able to fight this, can't we? Well, how can we fight this? How can we keep our contracts from not fading off so much? Well, we can help our contracts here by not fading off so much by raising up our expiration. But that really goes against it, because take a look. If I wanted to buy it right now, 25 contracts, it costs us $4,200. Okay, Deck, I don't want to have time decay. I don't want to have any sort of time decay. Let's move it out to January 10th. January 10th here now gives us a week, gives us 2 weeks, gives us time where our contracts are not going to just depreciate so quickly. But instead of $4,000, now our contracts cost $30,000. So $30,000, guys, that is going to be something that maybe most of us don't have. Maybe that's going to be something that's going to be very more difficult to be able to obtain. So not only, at this point, do I need more money, it's just going to make it overall more difficult. So now I'm leaning towards a lot of time making that more risky trade. Now, a lot of times I'm leaning towards the fact of, okay, I'm going to jump in on a trade that, I might end up losing, but guess what? I have to take that trade just because it's the only thing I have in my account. Now, what I expect is going to happen here, team, if by the end of the day we continue to hold these on up, is if the S&P 500 does something like it did yesterday. If the S&P 500 slowly moves on up, what are you guys going to realize? As the S&P 500 slowly moves on up, and as the S&P 500 slowly climbs right here, even though the SPY is moving on up, your contracts are still depreciating because you're getting closer to the end of the day. And most likely what is going to happen is that both of these are going to be red. Both of these plays are going to be red. So no matter if you went on the long side, no matter if you went on the short side or the call or put side, you would be a loser no matter which one you chose. That's one of the reasons why I do not like options. That's one of the reasons why I dislike options a lot, where no matter which way I choose, if I hold my play too long and I don't have a big enough count, no matter if I say it's going to go up, no matter if I say it's going to go down, regardless, I'm going to be a loser on both. That's one of those things that I want you guys to definitely realize when trading options. I know they're so appealing to a lot of traders, but if you do close expirations, and you do not have a hot ETF, and you do not have a hot stock or hot movement, and you do not get in at the right time, and you do not jump in where you can be able to be very profitable, you are most likely going to be seeing some very big losses very quickly. So I want you to take that into consideration while trading. Well, Deck, what about shares? Well, shares, guys, the greatest thing about shares is that no matter what on shares, you can hold them forever, and they're not going to lose value here. So that's what's so incredible. That's what's so awesome about them. So when you're saying, Deck, how did you make the most money you ever made in a year? Most money I ever made in 1 year was back in 2021, $552,000. I actually have everything over on my YouTube showing that, P&L statements, so you guys can go ahead and check those on out. Full video, full login, everything. Now, I did not do one option contract in 2021. Not one. Not one single option contract. So how were you able to win? The way I was able to win was by playing stocks just like FWBI. FWBI, they are plays number one we can all afford. We can all afford plays like FWBI because they're not $300 to $400 to $500. They're $10. They're $5. They're $2. We can all afford them. Number two, when we do shorts instead of contracts, there's no expiration. So since there's no expiration, I can keep on holding them as long as I want. And as we know, as I've talked about many times, is that these low float pump and dump plays, they're all garbage. Every single play is garbage when we're talking about stocks that are underneath $5, $10. A stock that shoots up 250% is usually 99% of the time not anything from the actual company. It's from social media today. Social media where someone goes on Twitter and says, hey, everyone go look at FWBI. They came out with a press release and they have a large following. And everyone buys it because that guy says it. And then other people start posting it, and other people start posting it, and other people start posting it, and other people start posting it. We can go over towards FWBI, and FWBI, if we wanted to, let's just say with $4,000 or the $5,000 that we had, we can get about 1,500 shares over on this play. Let's again just market order in on a short here, and let's go sell over on FWBI, and let's just see how much money we could possibly be able to make over on FWBI. Now, obviously, this is a much later entry than what we'd want, but obviously I'm just talking about it as we're going. But what I want you guys to realize is that take a look at the past chart history pattern on a play like FWBI. FWBI, I went over this morning in pre-market. But if we take a look over on the past here, I can realize that right here, FWBI is known to spike and give back its gains. FWBI is known to spike and give back its gains. It is known to spike and give back its gains. It is known to spike and give back its gains. It is known to spike and give back its gains. What do we think is going to happen on this day? I see too many traders say, I think it's going to spike on up. Why in the world would it spike and hold its gains when it didn't do it here, it didn't do it here, 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 didn't do it here? And if you just realize that these plays are not good companies and these plays are not good actual fundamental plays and they're all just built up on hype, and you could see that they start dumping with a $4,000 account, you're up $120 just like that, right? You're up, a good amount of money, and you can be able to hold these if you want to. So if you wanted to, you could just lock in profits right now. If you wanted to, you'd be able to lock in gains. And as I'm saying this, guys, this is obviously not the best entry in the world because, we're just jumping in and we're going in as a lesson. But I want you guys to realize that this play is most likely going to probably fade back on down to $7, $8 in time. FWBI, same exact thing here and here and here. A lot of these plays, guys, that get pumped on up out of hype are plays that come right back on down. A perfect example to be able to understand the penny stock world is almost like just taking a look over on the crypto world. The crypto world is all based off hype. Maybe not Bitcoin, maybe not Ethereum. Those definitely have some good fundamental value. But when we're taking a look at some other plays, such as Dogecoin. Dogecoin here, for example. Dogecoin, if we want to take a look, was a meme coin. It was all built up on hype, hype, hype. And guess what happens on hype? The moment hype fades away, it dumps all the way back on down, right? You could take a look over on all these plays. On all these plays, the moment that hype fades away is the moment it dumps all the way back on down. And as you guys can see, whenever we have hype, when the hype fades on down, they usually end up fading all the way back on down here, team. People talk on social media. Nowadays, things are different in the world. It's not like your grandparents who traded back in, 1960s. Now it's all on social media. And every single trader is going to start pumping on up plays that they think is going to go on big rips and runs and spikes and climbs. And the moment that these start getting pumped on up, there's always going to be followers, guys. There will be, right? There's always going to be followers. Take a look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Can someone read between the lines? We have at this moment, S&P 500 on the put side. We are down $137. S&P 500 on the call side. I'm going to say this was a little bit of a cheat. The S&P 500 has not even moved above 476. We should only be up a couple bucks on this play, right? This is like a paper trade. Maybe the paper trade kind of glitched a little bit. Take a look at what we're up with the same amount of money. Ladies and gentlemen, this was a $4,200 investment. This was about a $4,600 investment. And this right here is going to be right around what? About a $5,000 investment. Take a look at how we could be able to make money. And the thing is, the reason why I'm telling you guys this right now is because I don't hold anything back. I'm literally telling you guys secrets of the stock market right now. And 99% of people are going to realize, okay, hey, awesome. So Deck, you're telling me I can lose on options because of time decay. I have to pick the right stock out of 8,000 plays. I got to pick the right ETF. I got to be able to pick the right direction, and I got to be able to pick the right time, or I'm probably going to end up losing no matter if I buy them or sell them. The answer is correct. Or we can just wake up every single morning. We can go over towards our top gainers on the day. I see pre-market up gappers. FWBI has 675,000 in float. The float is the shares offered to the public. The lower the float, the higher the demand, the bigger the spike can be. So basically, the lower the float is the size. When we have a very small size and everyone wants to buy it, you have a very big increase in price. I wake up every morning, I see the dark blue. I put anything under 5 million as low float. 2 million, 2 million, 822, 675. FWBI, it's the lowest float play right here. Now, after I realize it's the lowest float play, I'm already getting a good idea that every single trader is starting to say to themselves, all right, hey, people are going to start trying to pump this on up. It's a low float. Anyone who has a chat, anyone who has a following, they're going to start buying FWBI. That's where the issue is. The issue is, team, I'm going to say it right now, 99% of people who have a large following do what? They buy shares of FWBI, they get in on FWBI, and then they go ahead and tweet it out and say, hey, everyone that follows me, if you want to be a winner, buy FWBI. But guess what? The guy who started it, he's already in right here. And all you're doing is pumping up this guy's profits. You're just pumping up his profits. And then guess what happens? He's up big right now. Maybe a few of the followers are up big. And then he says, all right, amazing. Everyone made money right here. When really, this guy was able to make the most amount of money. Maybe again, the sheep, maybe some followers, maybe again, some people that follow him on Twitter was able to make a couple dollars. But guess what happens? The moment that this guy sells, all of his followers sell. And now the stock comes crashing all the way back on down. It's a low float play. It doesn't have any value. It's not a good company. Stop thinking that this is going to turn into the blue chip play. Traders, I'm saying this all because literally I've been able to make over $500,000 doing it. Now you might say, oh, Deck, you have a large following. The thing is, I don't ever buy plays down here. Unless I'm like the first one in when a hot press release comes on out, I don't say, hey, everyone, go buy this play, and I don't show my P&L. I always show you guys, first off, if I'm in on a play, I always do it in real time. I always live stream it. If you're in Tradecaster, if you're on tradecaster.com watching me live stream, watching me trade, I do this all in real time. So it's never a follow me game. It's always you get to see everything I'm doing in real time. And also what I like to do, as you guys know as well, is I don't like to even buy on the upside. I like to wait until things start turning and falling and saying, oh boy, we're starting to collapse. Oh boy, we're starting to get weaker. Oh boy, we're starting to, really dump on down here. But what I want you guys to realize is that there is so much more predictability doing these type of moves, getting involved on plays that we know are just not good, and using social media to our advantage, using the fact that people are going to pump on plays. For instance, right? If we want to go over to the crypto world here, and you want to say, all right, Deck, how about we think about this as well? Crypto is very speculative. Crypto is something that gets pumped up a lot, right? We know that these plays like to get pumped on up. Well, if we wanted to, could we just say, okay, whatever gets the most hype and go ahead and look for shorts? That's going to be slightly different, doing it in the crypto world, but I like the same exact idea. You can go ahead and you can take a look over on shorts, over on gaming. So if we wanted to short crypto, for instance, let's go ahead and take a look at some of these crypto plays. All right, let's say when these crypto plays get very hot, if we can go ahead and look for a short, such as this. Play goes from $100 to $1,800 off of hype. It comes all the way back on down towards $100. Take a look over on this. We could see it went from 16 cents up to 80 cents. Guess what happens? We fell back down to 60 cents. This next crypto bull run, how many people on social media do you think are going to say, go buy this play, go buy this play, go buy this play, go buy this play, go buy this play? Ladies and gentlemen, we could go ahead and be able to make millions in the crypto market by going against the crypto market and basically just saying to ourselves, hey, whatever gets pumped on up is bound to come crashing back on down. So we could be able to do this as well. I'm just using crypto as like an example for you to be able to understand how momentum is basically perceived, right? We know that social media is an extremely powerful tool. It's how people make a lot of money. I don't use social media in the way that most people use social media. Most people say to themselves, all right, I have a following of 100,000 people over on Twitter. What I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to tweet on out, everyone go buy stock XYZ. I have 100,000 people who follow me. If I jump in on XYZ and now I tell all of these guys down here to go ahead and buy XYZ, then they are going to buy XYZ because they listen and they like what I say, and they are going to pump up my profits. And once they pump up my profits, I'm going to be happy. It makes me look good. It gives me a correct win. And now again, I can go ahead and sell it. As you guys know, I don't do any of that. What I do is I search for everyone that is doing this. And then all I do is I hang out. I sit back in the shadows like Batman, and I'm just hanging out, waiting and waiting and waiting until everyone starts panicking and this guy says, I am out. And the moment that that guy says he is out, that's where you and I jump in because we know that this thing is about to come crashing all the way back on down. So for instance, how do I figure this out then, Deck? Just head on over to Twitter and you guys can see, what do we have here? Type in FWBI. And you can see all these people with larger followings, 7,000 followers, 227,000 followers, 213,000 followers. People are talking about FWBI. People are talking about FWBI. People are talking about FWBI, FWBI, FWBI. People are talking about FWBI. How many people do you think actually study and follow the stock market? How many people do you think just wake up every single day and say, ooh, let me go ahead and see what this girl's saying. Ooh, FWBI, ooh, that's the best one. I want to go ahead and get involved in FWBI now. So now it's getting pumped on up on nothing but hype, nothing on momentum. And the moment it starts turning, it just leads to all panicking. And now we are about to be up 1,500. Now we're up 1,800. Now we're about to be up 2,000. And now we're up 2,100. Now again, it's crashing on down even more. So now we're just making more money. And now it's like the infinite money glitch. Okay? That's all it is. So traders, I want to make sure that you guys understand this. I want to make sure you guys realize what I am going to be doing in 2024. 2024, you are probably not going to find me trading options too much. In 2024, you have to be correct in so much, most likely in option trading. It's going to be very difficult to be able to come out on top. It's going to be very hard to be able to come out on top, to be able to nail every single one of these moves. But one thing that I'm really looking forward to in 2024 is not just doing this that we're talking about right now over on FWBI, but I do plan on doing, the first thing is doing this over on crypto. Traders, I think every single person can agree with me that 98% of crypto is garbage. 98% is technology we will never use. 98% is probably rug pulls, probably scams, probably not legit in any sort of way. Do I think Bitcoin is legit? Yes. Do I think Ethereum has use? Yes. Do I think maybe the top 10, top 50 cryptocurrencies could be able to put into use in some way? Yes. But I think everything else is probably going to end up coming crashing. So let's just think about this for a second. Think about how when Bitcoin starts going big, people get excited about cryptocurrency, which leads to a lot of these altcoins going on huge spikes and then come crashing on down. Same exact thing with the S&P 500. When the S&P 500 starts spiking very big, guess what everyone starts doing? Everyone starts saying to themselves, oh, the SPY is going great. Let me start investing. And then now they have a lot of money, and then they start getting more into speculative little trades like FWBI, trying to get rich when you can really just short it on down. I will say this, and I'm going to say this again. This is a much better way to make money. Short these plays. If you are using a broker such as like Robinhood or some random broker that you found on the App Store, it's probably not going to be working for you in any sort of way. All right? It's probably not. But I want you guys to realize that you can go ahead and get premium brokers. So premium broker is like Lightspeed. Lightspeed is what I use. It's the broker that I use to be able to get shorts on all my plays. So for anyone saying, oh, I don't have shorts on TD Ameritrade. TD Ameritrade is awful with shorts. Oh, Deck, I don't have shorts with E-Trade. E-Trade is just awful with shorts. You have to use a brokerage that's designed for shorting, such as Lightspeed. Other than that, you can see the put contract over on this is starting to fade. S&P 500 basically just sitting right at 476. As we talked about, we're not really up $551 over on this play. It kind of put us up right away. Maybe we're up a little bit, but really not that much, whatsoever at all. FWBI, let's just basically lock out of FWBI. FWBI, to get out of a short, instead of clicking the sell button, we click the buy button to cover. We can go ahead, cover, make $1,600 just like that, and now we're good to go. So as we head into 2024, these key points that I want you guys to realize is number one, options is what I found Doing options throughout 2022, throughout 2023, to me, is a lot more difficult than doing what I just explained. I started stock trading in the year 2014, I want to state. I immediately went over to the penny stock world. I found success in the penny stock world. I was able to say to myself, I have a small amount of money. I'm able to grow it. I'm able to make this work. I'm happy with the penny stock world. I traded penny stocks and I started shorting all the way from 2014 all the way up towards 2022. Now, in 2022, what did we start realizing? The S&P 500, we started seeing a very big pullback. This was kind of the first big pullback that I experienced as a trader. 2022 is the first time that we basically had a dead slow year where we did not have a lot of options on the penny stock world. So I was basically forced to learn how to trade options. Then in 2023, things started coming back on up. I wanted to continue to try to grow with options, but even with a hotter market right here, for me, it's kind of more just confirmed that I just am not the biggest fan of option trading. I see that I have so much opportunity to lose with I have to pick the right play at the right time with hot volume and pick the right direction. I also need to lock in profits quickly before, again, my time decay takes on over. And if I don't lock in profits, time decay is going to hurry. And the only way that I can basically combat time decay is being able to pay more money for a larger expiration date. None of that sounds good to me. When instead, if I know that the market's moving on up and things are getting hot, I can wake up every day, know that people on Twitter are going to be pumping up low float plays to their followers, and just wait for that drop back on down. And wait for that play to start fading and falling. This is how you want to make money into the market. It's better, it's simpler, you have a better chance of success, you just need the right broker. As long as you use the right broker, you'll be all set, ready to go. Now, something that I definitely want to do in 2024, which I have not done, but something I'm very excited for, is do this, but on a more crazy scale, as of course, this Bitcoin rally is starting to begin. As crypto starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we know just as the SPY moves on up, people go into more speculative investments. As Bitcoin starts moving on up, we're going to start seeing these altcoins and meme coins start moving. Every single time they start spiking and moving and ripping and running, get ready. As once again, Bitcoin starts turning and starts dropping, we know that these are going to be some amazing shorting opportunities coming on up. You can definitely look for the upside coming on up here soon because we're still very, very early into the bull run. But I do think as altcoins start going crazy, usually they last a little bit longer though. Just a little heads on up. Do your research. A lot of these like altcoins don't just spike in the morning and then crash. They usually last though like a month, 2 months, then dump on down. So it is slightly different, but something in 2024 I'm going to be looking to do is doing the same exact thing, looking to see who's pumping these altcoins, see who's pumping these meme coins, and going to be doing it on a much bigger level, looking to short these crypto plays that we know that are not good and everyone's just trying to make a quick bag off of. Hey, 2024, huge year ahead. I'm live every single day over on tradecaster.com. Make sure you guys are here, link in the description below, and let's get ready to crush it, guys. It's gonna be a huge time ahead.